This video is made possible by POWERUP. Turn your paper airplane into a smartphone flying machine. Follow the link in the description to get your POWERUP module today. Hello pilots of the internet, welcome to Foldable Flight. My name is Kyle and this is where I teach you how to fold paper airplanes that will blow your mind. And boy do I have a sick paper airplane for you guys today. This is called Regent, and as you saw from the flight test, this is an awesome stunt plane. Really cool. I would call it a boomerang plane, but because of the way it's folded, and you'll see later, it's a little bit inconsistent in boomeranging back to you, so I'm not going to call it a boomerang plane. I don't want to advertise it as such because you might have some trouble getting it to actually boomerang to you, but it does fly very well and in some unpredictable ways that really make it kind of an exciting plane to throw. So as always, you can see this plane itself is beautiful, but with all my YouTube planes, I make a template which you can gain access to if you support me on patreon.com/foldableflight. And you can see this plane, the template's awesome, and this plane really looks good in it. Now, this is an advanced fold, so I warn you ahead of time, if you are a beginner in origami, that you might want to check out some of the other planes on my channel. I have an entire playlist of easy paper airplanes, and this is not one of them. So, all you're going to need in order to fold this plane is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. And with that, we're going to turn it this way and begin. As with most planes, we're going to start just by making our center crease. So I'm going to fold this edge here to this edge. Now I should also mention that this plane does not work with the POWERUP modules. So you may have seen that this video is sponsored by POWERUP. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video. But I warn you, don't fold this with the intention of specifically using it with one of those modules. Those modules are amazing and they work with a lot of planes, but not this one. So the next step, what I'm doing right here, is I'm folding the top down, and I'm trying to line it up so that this half here is equal to this half here, with this edge being the dividing line. And this isn't crucial that you get it exactly right. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can be, but really anything in this range is going to serve you well. And once I've done that, the next step is actually to fold this bottom edge up. And now I want to do the same thing where this top portion and this bottom portion are the same width, with this edge being that dividing line. So hopefully you have something that looks a bit like this. And now I'm going to fold my paper in half on that existing center crease. And what I want to do is I want to fold this portion down, and to explain how I'm determining where I fold that down, basically I'm trying to make it so that this crease I'm about to make turns each of these sections into a square. So the distance here from this center crease to where my new crease is going to be should be the same distance as from this top point to this point. So I'm just looking and I'm estimating that as I do this. And again, if you don't get this exactly right, it's not a deal breaker at all. This is just kind of how I decided on the proportions of the plane as I was designing it, but it will fly well with a variety of proportions. And once I've done that, I'll flip it over and I'll fold this other side. Now I'm just matching it to the first side. Okay, and the next step is just while we have it like this, we're going to fold this edge here down to land on this edge here, and our crease should go right through this corner there. And I'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And now I will open up this crease I just made, and I want to fold this edge here to land on that crease. And I'm going to leave actually just a little gap because we're going to be closing this again. I'm leaving that slight gap between the edge here, and I don't know how well you guys can see the crease on camera. That slight gap between this edge and that crease should help this to close without getting kind of wrinkled and bulky. So you can see now I can close that really easily. So when I do close it, I'm actually going to close it so that this flap here gets tucked into this pocket here. And if you're having trouble doing that, you can kind of open up your plane just a little bit to allow you to do that. And then put it all back together like so. And now we're just going to flip it over and do those same steps on this side. So folding this edge to this crease, again just leaving a little gap. And tucking that into this pocket. And I will lay the plane flat like this on the table. You should look like this at this point. And the next step is a little bit tricky. I'm going to take this edge here and fold it so it lands right here. And let me show you how that looks, and then you try to repeat after me. So I'm folding this edge here, I'm pulling it, and it's really awkward here. But you can see I'm making a crease that's going to go right up to that point, and I'm only creasing to that point. I could crease all the way up there, but really we just want this crease to continue until it intersects that point right there. So I'm just kind of pulling with my finger and creating that crease that's going to that point, and that's because this edge here is landing there, and if this were a perfect square it would go straight through that point. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing on this other side, where I'm just pulling this and creating that same crease. Well, my lines aren't quite matching up, so I'm trying to make it so that they do. There we go. And you can see now I've got this kind of triangle pointing to the center here. And next I want to fold this edge to the crease we just made. So this is going to be a similar step and even maybe a little bit more difficult than the first one. But again, I'm just creasing right up to that center crease. And again, this side here to here. And if you're having trouble with this, I totally understand. This is a little bit tricky. So now you should have kind of two sets of creases like this, where one is a 45-degree angle here, and one is the bisector of that angle here. And so we are going to close our plane in half, like so, just folding on that center crease. And as it folds in half, you should allow this larger triangle to swing forward, just like that. That's exactly what we want it to do. And then you're going to just fold your wings back down like so, and we should be looking at our plane like this. The next step is we're going to stand this front little triangle here vertically by pulling it along the edge of this wing. And I'm going to actually flip it over and do the same thing on this side, just pulling that, making a crease there, and standing it vertically. And now I'm going to begin a squash fold by pressing down on the crease of this pocket. And once that squash fold starts, I'm going to actually turn my plane up like this so I can view it from the top. And I want to squash this down while holding the nose of my plane closed so that this crease here lands right in the gap between these wings. And I want to try to keep it symmetrical and have it look like this. And once you have it like that, you're going to push it down on either side of your plane, and it should look like this. And you can flatten everything nice and smooth once you've got it in this position. But it's important to try to keep this crease right in the center of your plane. If it's not, that's going to affect the performance of your plane. Okay, and next we will open this up, and you can see here we have these kind of two triangles at the front of our plane. We're going to mount and fold each one of those inside this area. So you can see it's kind of like a tooth that I'm just pushing back into the plane. You can see where it's going into this little pocket. I'm just holding this and pushing that down into this area. And once I've done that, you can see we're going to be able to close our plane up again like so, and the nose of our plane is now all locked together. It's very thick, but it is all locked together. So next, you can see we still have this central section where we have this triangle forward. Well, this is going to become the locking mechanism for our plane. And this is where we're going to use, you remember we have those second creases, and we're going to use those to push this tab, and I know this is tricky, guys. We're going to push this tab to one side. So we fold it. Well, give me a second. Fold it in just like this. You can see the shape it's forming, and tuck it all the way in. And you tuck that as tight as you can. And once you've kind of got it doubled over, then just push it really nice and flat. And this is going to hold the plane together. It's not absolutely necessary to do this. Your plane will fly if you can't, even if you can't quite get this to work for you. If you find it too difficult, your plane's going to fly anyways, but this is definitely going to make the plane more aerodynamic in the end. It's holding the fuselage tightly together. And now we just fold our wings. So we're going to start right here where this is meeting this kind of nose section. And we're going to fold down to this back corner of the plane. And you can see now this is revealing the central fin of our plane. And I'll flip it over, fold the other side to match. Okay, so your plane should look like this. And now you can see we pretty much just have to fold some winglets for the plane. So I'm going to fold winglets that, here, let me fold it up. And I'll show you this edge here should be, this edge should be just, you know, a little over an inch, about 1.25 inches. And you want this, of course, you want your crease of the winglets to be parallel to this central crease of your wings. And you can see that's the center. This represents the center of your wing here, or your plane rather. So this edge a little over an inch, 1.25 inches maybe, and this edge here parallel to the center of your plane. And once you've done that, you'll flip it over, fold the other side to match. Oops, didn't quite match mine up. Okay, and now the last step here, you can see what our plane looks like now. The last step is to make creases here on the leading edge that are going to level our wings out. You can see they're very anhedral right now. They angle down. We want them to bend back up a little bit on the outer portion of the wing. So what I'm going to do is pull this up, and basically I want to land this crease here on this edge here. And when I do that, I'm not going to crease along the full length of the wing. I'm just going to crease, you'll see as I do this, right, so there I've got it lined up. I'm just going to crease right here on this leading edge, this thick part of the wing. And leaving this back edge uncreased is going to reduce the total drag that the plane creates. So once I do that on one side, I'm actually going to leave that wing flat here on the table, and then I'll fold this other side in the same manner I did the first side, not necessarily matching it up to the other wing, just because we don't want to leave the other wing folded and create a crease all the way along the length of it. And so there you go, and you can actually kind of smooth out this back edge of your wing a little bit to make it less creased, less square than it is, a little more round. And then you want to set your winglets so that they are vertical and begin throwing the plane like this, where it's the center section is angled down, and then the outer sections of the wings are level, and then these winglets are vertical. And that's how I recommend you start throwing it. But once you get it flying well, test a little bit, experiment with different wing orientations. If you really swing these winglets inward, that's going to change the behavior of the plane, and it can do some cool tricks that way. You can turn the wings up slightly, and that will change its flight behavior as well. You may find that you need to bend the back edges of the wings up slightly. That's very normal. You may find that you don't need to do that with this plane, depending on the orientation of your wings. So just do a lot of experiments. This plane can boomerang back to you. This plane does a lot of backflips. It sometimes will do an S turn. And you'll notice we created some asymmetry in the locking mechanism of this plane, which often will pitch this center fin in one direction, and that will affect the behavior of your plane. So trying to kind of twist this back a little bit is a good way to help control your plane as well. And you may find that you just need to make some adjustments. If it's turning, for instance, to the left, then just give it a little rudder to the right to help compensate. I have an entire video on how to adjust your planes if they're not flying properly for you, but I really think you may just encounter that this plane wants to turn a little bit, and doing those things can help you out. Now, as I mentioned before, this specific plane doesn't work with the POWERUP modules, but if you like paper airplanes, there is no cooler product on the market. Turn your paper airplane that flies into something that really flies. POWERUP converts your paper airplane into a smartphone flying machine. Just download the app, attach the module, and take to the skies. All of the modules are quick to charge, easy to use, and are virtually crash-proof. POWERUP invites you to make many planes in many shapes because every plane brings with it new tricks and with them new gasps of excitement. Follow the link in the description to get your POWERUP module today.